Hello and welcome to Advertisers Watching Ads. My name is Tom Ollerton. I'm the founder of Automated Creative, and this is a show every week where brands review other brands' ads and discuss what's good and bad about them. We are brought to you by our partners Contagious. So thanks to those guys for sending an unending stream of innovative ads to choose from. But before we see this week's ad, let's meet this week's guests.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emma Roffey. I'm the VP of Marketing at Cisco for EMEAR, and also I have another job, which is running global advocacy at Cisco.
Hi, I'm Julia Linehan. I'm the founder and managing director of The Digital Voice.
And I'm Jerry Daykin. I'm in between two global media jobs at the moment, so writing a book in my spare time.
What a panel. Fantastic. Right, let's see this week's ad.
911, what's your emergency?
Hi, I've been in a car accident. My car slipped. There's water getting in the car and I can't get out.
911, what is your emergency?
I came out paddleboarding and a hard wind is pushing me out to sea.
Okay, do not hang up.
911, what's your emergency? I'm here at the farm. I broke my leg straight down 21 feet. I sure need help quick.
Are you by yourself?
Yes.
Have you tried to get out? Have you tried to bust the window or something?
I'm pretty far out in the ocean. I can't get to my cell phone. I'm talking on my Apple Watch.
Try to keep talking to me.
Okay.
I can't fight the wind anymore.
It's getting deeper. It's getting to my neck.
Please hurry. I'm hurting real bad.
You're going to seek help, okay?
I see them.
They're opening the door.
Hold on. Are you in an air pocket?
I'm just at the driver's seat.
Okay, but your head is above water?
Yes, sir.
Right. Jerry, what did you think when you first saw that?
I pretty much love it. I mean, it gives me tingles and emotion, and it's one hell of a product does something, and let's it speak for yourself. It's a slightly nagging sort of like, oh, are they trying to prey on people's worries and fears and things? It gets me a little bit, but I think it's a great bit of filmmaking to sell a sort of technological device in a way that, hits home. You can't not pay attention to that advert, really.
So I loved its realness. It was genuine and actually using, real people per se. I thought it was really powerful with being subtle as well. I don't have an Apple Watch. And that one, I was like, maybe I should. That's quite a good point. So, not overtly selling, but very powerful and subtle. And I say not overtly selling, so there's no features, benefits or anything about the Apple Watch itself. But I love that with technology, that emotional connection. So I just love the authenticity and the realness of it, really.
Julia, have you got an Apple Watch? Is this going to tip you over the edge?
No, do you know what? I'm PC and Android all the way. And actually, I would have loved an Apple Watch, but I've got an Android phone. So that's the only thing that still winds me up, because the Android phone watches are nowhere near as comparative as those ones. But you actually can't get an Apple Watch unless you've got an Apple phone, which is a shame, because that sold it to me. It's 3 for 3 on this. It still gives me goosebumps listening to it, and it is the simplicity of it, and I love that. It's so powerful because it's a really emotional and emotive subject anyway. If you're in trouble and you sort of think of, I've got teenagers and that'd be great for them to be able to use it. We're overwhelmed at the moment with adverts with a lot of people in, because marketers are so keen, and rightly so, to be inclusive of all types of people. Some ads feel like they're going a bit too far, and it's a lot of people because they're trying to get it right. And this one felt like a little bit of a breathing space of a first non-human ad without people in my face. Jerry, does that make sense to you? Do you think?
Yeah, it does make sense. I think there's definitely a bit of a trend, isn't there, of like the sort of the multi-scene, multi-family, in the nicest possible way, tick boxing adverts, even though they're quite well-meaning. Perhaps we've seen a lot of them. I was glad how they treated it, because you could imagine perhaps a less confident advertiser would have thought, well, I need to show people this. I need to recreate these scenes. I need dramatizations and things, all of which I think would have been too much and probably quite triggering as well.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that angle, actually. Julia, that you mentioned that. Hadn't thought about that, but I do know what you're saying. I just thought that, we reflect on that in that short space of time, really, when you think of it, that was so powerful and so smart. But I keep going back to this because it's real.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than, sometimes a bit tangential. Sometimes I'm watching a movie and it says, it's based on a true story. And I'm like, really? And I think if I was a film producer, I'd just go to Wikipedia put a couple of names in, because you've got a fantastic movie scripts there, because the best movies are the real, I can find, are the true stories, because you just can't beat the true story. And I think that's what they tapped into here.
It is a really simple, but all of us have experienced, sadly, in some way or another, or most people have that need to call the emergency services. And I think so it resonates with anybody. You can't help but, and it also plucks at that emotion of thinking, if this happens.
Do people really buy it? Because I've had an Apple Watch for like 5-6 years. I made a call on it once and I was like, well, that wasn't a great experience. Let's never do that again. It isn't an easy thing to kind of have a normal phone call on Apple Watch, but they have showed off this. I think they've also cleverly sidestepped what can be quite a lot of technicalities, like, or your Apple Watch, most people's Apple Watch requires their actual phone to be within Bluetooth distance of it to work. They just didn't get into it. They didn't get stuck in that. They just
told there's no product
story. And you can go and look into that yourself.
No classic marketing product feature, benefit. If you've got an Apple Watch, do you think you would think in that panic situation, oh, I could call from my watch?
To go back to your point, Jerry, it's preying on fear. Like, someone said to me that whatever happens in the news will never happen to you, because that's why it's news. It's so unusual. That's why it's interesting. On the odd situation that I might be stuck in a ravine or a sinking car, in return for every single notification happening twice on my body, I think that is not a great deal.
I think I can't imagine many people are going to buy an Apple Watch. Well, I hope.
Wow.
Just because of the ad, but I think it's a great branding ad. It builds the Apple Watch as a brand, and as we kind of hinted at before, Android watches don't have a brand. Yeah. They're don't stand for anything. Whereas Apple, it's part of your whole health. It's part of everything. This is an extreme example, but if it can do that, can it not look after me day to day? But yeah, it treads a thin line that you'd be worried they could fall easily on the other side of. Yeah.
Emma and I don't have Apple Watches, and I've got to be honest, it did appeal to me as I don't have one, so I didn't even think that. Whereas you guys have experienced the trying to make a phone call and it not working, and therefore you're a bit more cynical watching it. Whereas I'm like, wow, that's great. Of course, it's not real completely, is it, Emma? But I'm thinking children and going, oh, that'd be good. Yeah,
similar to you. It triggered something. It triggered something for me, but it's triggered like, maybe I really should find out what this does. This product does.
Wow, God, well, it really works, doesn't it? It's quite impressive. I think the other thing I really liked about it is there's that, I don't know how you describe it, Jerry, you've probably seen it, where it's like a black and white shot of like central London, and it's just got the words over the top saying, "You'll never achieve your dreams unless you believe in your dreams." And you're like, oh yeah, maybe I should believe in my dreams. And they've totally lifted that style from TikTok of just having the spoken word with the writing. It's like incredibly efficient, but also incredibly cheap. Like once they got those audio recordings, that was probably a day's editing, really. Choose a track. Versus like the hyper expensive, really premium ads that they do. And that's its genius for me.
That's very clever. I got a question there. We mentioned that actually there are a lot of fundamentals, like the mobile phone should be 2 meters away, etc. Do you remember radio ads used to have that very fast talking thing, which are the agenda team, what it couldn't do. That doesn't exist on this. And yet actually you sort of think, you should probably say there should be, it maybe is in the tiny small print, maybe my eyesight didn't see it, but it probably should say the things it doesn't do.
It's interesting because if they'd done an actual tech demonstration, I think it would have done. You often see a lot of adverts that say, actual sequence shortened and things like that. I guess they just didn't get into that detail, so maybe it doesn't need that disclaimer. And I would clarify for Apple that my phone did what? I made a call on it. I was just like, well, this is harder than this. So
But isn't that the beauty of the ad? Then you've got that intrigue to find out more. Do I believe this? Don't I? What else does it do? So I said, very, very clever without the features and benefits. So a very subtle but powerful sales technique.
So we, unfortunately, at the end of this contentious episode, I'm going to get you to vote on, give it marks out of 5. So 1, 2, 3. 2 4s and a 5. Whoa, that is a strong contender for ad of the year.
4.5.
4.5. Brilliant. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.